Sure.
Okay. So welcome everyone to the Rotary Foundation Committee e-Assembly. For those of you who are new to this technology, we're using this to kind of reach out to other parts of the district and kind of help with logistics. So when this is over, we will need your feedback on how not just the training goes, but how the technology goes, and you'll be getting a survey from me on that. Let's go ahead and just do very quick introductions. I'm seeing all the names, so I'll just read them out. Let's see, Jermaine.
Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
I'm Jermaine Mitchell. I'm with the Taos Rotary Club, working with Yale Jones. I apologize for my technology issues. I'm in a very remote area, and so I'm going to be bouncing in and out. But I'm looking forward to this meeting and working with the foundation.
Thank you. Ronnie?
Hi, I'm Ronnie Wright, Las Cruces Rio Grande Rotary Club. I'll be the president starting July 1.
Awesome, thank you. Betty?
I'm Betty Young with Volvo Rotary, and I'm going to be on the membership committee and then be president in a couple of years. So I thought I got a little scared and start learning everything.
Okay, and again, Betty, just make sure you're close to the mic. For some reason, it's soft.
Okay, sorry. You want me to repeat that again?
Please do, yes.
Okay. I'm sorry. I apologize. This is Betty Young with Volvo Rotary, and I'm going to be on membership chair starting in July. I've been through some of these deals, but I didn't get very much training, so I'm trying to get caught up before I become president.
Awesome, thank you. Dave Ring.
Dave Ring. I'm the co-foundation chair for the Rotary Del Sol Club in Albuquerque, and glad to enjoy this with Jeff, particularly the bright spot on top of his head.
Exactly. It's a halo. Let's see, Cindy. And you're on mute, so if you unmute, we can hear you. There you go.
Okay, yeah. I am an incoming foundation chair for the Las Cruces Rio Grande chapter.
Awesome, thank you. Taylor.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Just sitting in. I got the invitation. I thought I'd check it out.
But can you just introduce yourself, please?
Taylor Lewin. I just joined the Rotary Del Sol.
Awesome, thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Let's see, Dave Anderson.
I'm here.
As you are. Okay, at this point, I'd like to turn it over to our presenters for this morning, District Governor Tom and Lieutenant Governor Yale. It is your show, folks.
Okay, Governor Tom, should I go ahead first?
Yeah, why don't you take it away so you can get your material presented and answer whatever questions, and then I'll do cleanup.
Thanks. Actually, I appreciate that. I'm in Concord, California. My wife and I came to visit our godson and his fiance. So I'm on my iPad, and Jeff is going to help me with the technology. What I want to talk about is the Paul Harris Society. And we have to be careful when we talk to each other and to our members. We're asking for money, but we're not asking for money. You know, what we're asking for is help making the wonderful work of the Rotary Foundation and Rotarians worldwide possible. It takes money to make it happen, but it takes spirit and commitment. And that is why I have been the Paul Harris Society chair for 2 or 3 years. Now I'm in my 3rd year, and am passionate about the work of the foundation. You know, the Paul Harris Society is different from being a Paul Harris Fellow. To be a Paul Harris Fellow, you need to have either given $1,000 cumulatively over your lifetime, or to have given some combination of $1,000 and points that have been given to you by another person who has accumulated points. And I think Governor Tom is going to talk about that. Jeff, can we have the first slide?
Yale, I have Tom's slides.
Do you have the ones I sent you by email?
I'm on a conference.
Okay. I apologize. I thought I only had the one PowerPoint.
That's what I want, is the PowerPoint.
Okay, here it comes.
Thank you. Perfect. The Paul Harris Society, as I say, that, oops, now we've got
Hold on a second.
Okay. Thank you. The Paul Harris Society is one of the major ways in which Rotarians can support the work of the Rotary Foundation and of Rotarians worldwide. It helps bring positive change to communities. We don't accumulate money just for the sake of accumulating money. We we raise money, and we do accumulate it to be fiscally prudent, but we raise it to make service possible. So those of us who love service above self understand the importance of money. Okay, Jeff, next one. The Paul Harris Society consists of those Rotarians and friends of Rotary who give $1,000, who've made a pledge to give $1,000 a year, every year, to the Rotary Foundation. And that can be done by a gift to the annual fund, which helps fund our district, by a gift to Polio Plus, or by a gift in support of an approved foundation grant. So for example, out of Santa Fe, we have the work of Deborah Simon and other wonderful Rotarians doing water projects in Guatemala. And out of Alamogordo, we have the work of Norm Arnold and Robin doing bridges for prosperity. And to make a gift in support of an approved foundation grant, you have to wait until the grant has actually been approved and has a grant number. And then when you go to the Rotary Foundation giving page, it's a form EN99. It will say, do you want to give to the annual fund? Do you want to give to Polio Plus? Do you want to give to in support of an approved foundation grant? Right now in District 5520, we have about 120 Rotarians who are members of the Paul Harris Society. So right there, we have $120,000 that has been committed to the Rotary Foundation by our district, which I think is very good because we're not talking a huge affluent district like San Francisco or the Bay Area. And I'm very proud of that. And I'm very proud of our fellow Rotarians. Worldwide, there are almost worldwide, there are almost 16,000 members of the Paul Harris Society. So if you do the arithmetic, that's $160 million, right, Jeff?
Yes, sir.
$160 million that the Rotary Foundation can count on year in and year out. Now, if something changes in your financial situation and you can no longer be a Paul Harris Society member, we're not going to send a leg breaker out to collect money from you. But it's best to let me or your club foundation chair know that you can't do it this year for whatever reason, and we can notify the Rotary Foundation, and then you don't get on the delinquent list, which is only in our heads. Okay, Jeff, next slide, please. So as I say, being a member of the Paul Harris Society, why? Because it makes service possible. This looks like a bridge for prosperity, but I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. Okay, Jeff? But as everybody knows, in Rotary, or almost everybody except the newest Rotarians, we have 6 areas of focus in our service worldwide. We have teacher training, clean water, scholarships, malaria prevention, peace studies, ending polio, and actually not mentioned up here is, that's some of the impact. Not mentioned is maternal and child health, which is a very, very important thing. All of this is made possible with time, sweat, and money. Okay, Jeff? There's more than one way to join the Paul Harris Society. You can notify your club foundation chair. You can go to rotary.org/give and you'll find the form EN99. You can phone the Rotary staff in Evanston, or you can contact me. And I'm sorry I didn't put my information up. My cell phone number is 575-779-4628. And my email address is yijonesSF, like Santa Fe, at gmail.com, yijonesSF@gmail.com. And we would be happy to, any of us mentioned would be happy to help you join the Paul Harris Society. We just had 5 Rotarians from Alamogordo become new members of the Paul Harris Society. I'm very proud of that club and very pleased. Next, Jeff. So also, as you can with your regular gifts, you can designate whether you want to give the money in one lump sum, monthly, quarterly, or annually. And I've said for 2 years now in my visits to various clubs, if you give monthly, that's about $84 a month, and you'll get to your $1,000 a year. And it can come right out of your bank account, or it can come right out of your credit card. And when you really think about it, I don't know about you, but I'm a retired geezer, and I probably spend $84 a month taking people out to lunch and coffee, is the truth.
Please.
And if you think about the good in the world, $84 worth of coffee and lunch doesn't do as much good for me as seeing something positive happen in the world. So again, go to rotary.org/give, and you can become a Paul Harris Society member. Next. Now you'll see some of us wearing these recognition pins, which I have a supply of them. Not the pins. The pin, the round circular pin, shows that you are a member of your Paul Harris Fellow. The PHS banner shows that you are a member of the Paul Harris Society, and I have those, and I can get those to anybody who signs up. Okay, next, please. Now, I want to thank you for your time, your commitment, your support, and I want to say also that I have visited about 20 clubs in the district over the last 2 years plus to talk about the Paul Harris Society, and I would be happy to visit your club or some of your members or your foundation committee, either by a Zoom meeting or in person, if it's at all possible. Are there any questions I can answer? Jeff, yes? Was there a question?
Hi, Yale, it's Jermaine.
Hi, Jermaine.
Is there a publication or a monthly newsletter with the society that members would receive to get a better understanding of what their contribution is contributing to?
Hi, Deborah. I see you joined us.
Hi there. I'm sorry for getting here a little bit late.
That's okay. There are all sorts of newsletters you can get. If you go to rotary.org, you can get many updates. But I don't know, I get 4 or 5, but I don't know if there's one that specifically talks about the work that's being done by the Paul Harris Society members as opposed to the general work of the foundation. Governor Tom, do you know the answer to that?
I am not aware of anything specific for Paul Harris Society. I know major donors receive that stuff periodically from him.
Yes. Jeff, can you show the form EN99, the enrollment form?
Is that on rotary.org?
That is actually, I thought I sent it to you. Don't go hunting around for it. Let's not take people's time. But the form you want to look for to join the Paul Harris Society is EN99. So, Deborah, can you tell us, Deborah, how many Paul Harris Society members are supporting the work of your club and associated clubs in Guatemala, the water projects?
I would say probably up to, probably around 20.
Yeah. So that's then you take in the matching grants, which Tom's going to talk about, and suddenly a lot of things are possible. There it is. Jeff's way ahead of us. So this is the form EN99, and if you scroll up, you'll see, there it is. You'll see the enrollment form. And I strongly suggest that you make your gifts directly to the Rotary Foundation by cash, check, credit card, not by cash, but by check, credit card, or direct deposit from your account. Because we, at least in my club, in the past, we've had some donations go through the club treasurer, and it really complicates record keeping, and it complicates getting your tax deductions.
Can I say one thing there, Yale?
Sure, please.
Yeah. For those Paul Harris Society donors that designate it to a global grant, we have found that if they go directly to the website, we don't know if that money was actually sent in unless that person remembers to send us a verification that it went in. So we're hanging out waiting, and the Rotary Foundation is not really forthcoming with a list to tell us who has given and who hasn't.
Thank you, Deborah. I forgot that, but it is important when you're supporting a global grant, especially one out of our own district, to let the grant managers and organizers know that we're doing it, because they beside organizing all the human beings to go to Guatemala or to South America for bridges, they have to organize the money. Any other questions? Does everybody understand the difference between the Paul Harris Society and being a Paul Harris Fellow?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I know in my club, our past foundation chair talked about, well, you can get a Paul Harris, and that's kind of like saying, well, you can be a Steph Curry fan, which and I'm going to say go Dubs, having lived in San Francisco most of my life. But I thank you very much. If there are no further questions, I'm going to turn it over to Tom and say goodbye this morning and join my godson and my wife.
Thank you, Yale.
Thank you.
Bye, Yale.
Bye.
Okay, this is Tom Walker, and I am the once and future District Foundation Chair, and for 19 days, Dave gets to kick back while I am finishing up paperwork. So I'm going to be the cleanup hitter today, I think. Okay, you should be able to see a blue screen that says District Foundation Assembly.
Yes, sir.
Well, there. Okay. Or as I've subtitled it, everything else you need to know about our foundation, the Rotary Foundation. Okay. Here we go. And here's my contact information, along with some representative pictures. You notice once upon a time I did have hair, and it was thin enough to fit down the hatch on the submarine. Before we go any further, I want to basically give you an idea who the key people in the foundation team are this year. You'll probably be doing most of your work with our community grant chair, Andrew Garrison, and our global grant chair, Tom Simon. Don Bernardi is the grant subcommittee chair, and he's responsible for riding herd on the grants. Ray Cox from El Paso is the new stewardship chair. Yale, as you heard, will continue as Paul Harris Society. And Earl Wade is coming on board to run our Polio Plus effort. Norm Liss will continue as the scholarship chair. Carolyn Mitchell. Hi, Carolyn.
Hi.
Is again the fundraising person. And by district this year, we have Martine Gomez from Camino Real helping Vic Villalobos from Las Cruces Rio Grande. So those are the key folks, but I suspect most of you will be doing business with Andrew or Tom. And by the way, since we have so many Toms, I've been going by Tom W. I don't know what Tom Simon is going to go by, and then there's Tom Lindsay, my predecessor here. So anyway, I want to ask each and every one of you, have you participated in a National Immunization Day? And if you have, hold up your hand. I don't see a lot of hands here. And I would say to you that you have, either through your contributions to Polio Plus or to the Rotary Foundation, participated in that. You have provided funds for this. So you can hold up your hand for that. Have you drilled a well for fresh water in Guatemala or some other place? And again, the answer is yes, I have, because we've contributed to the Rotary Foundation. Have you done cleft palate surgeries in Guatemala, Juarez, or some other place? And the answer is yes, we have, because we've supported the Rotary Foundation. Have you done pediatric correctional heart surgeries in the Horn of Africa with President Ravi? And the answer is yes, we have, because we contributed to the Rotary Foundation. And we probably have not seen the tears of joy from a mother's eyes. Some of us may have, when they see the project come online, or the mother sees or finds out that her child's going to be fine after having surgeries. Key point here is the Rotary Foundation enables all of us to participate and do things that we might not otherwise be able to do. And we need to remember that. And when people ask, why should I contribute to the Rotary Foundation, because all that money goes overseas, remember, there are needs overseas, and we can address those needs, but there are also needs in our own town, and the Rotary Foundation helps us to do that. And we'll talk about that in a minute. There is a video available on the Rotary website, A Century of Doing Good in the World. And I would suggest that as part of your foundation training and experience in your club this year, that you show the club this video, which is going to come up here in a minute. Again, it's about 350 megabytes. You can download it, and the name of it is A Century of Doing Good in the World. And we'll take it away. Now, supposed to automatically start. Okay.
Our vision for the Rotary Foundation began 100 years ago. At Rotary's 1917 convention, President Arch Klump proposed an endowment for doing good in the world. His dream expanded the reach of Rotary far beyond the club. A contribution of $26.50 launched our foundation's endowment. A century later, we've spent more than $3 billion on humanitarian efforts worldwide.
Every Rotary project, anywhere started out with one person who had an idea. They were able to grow and develop that idea by using that powerful network of Rotary to really change the world.
We are effective. We are really alive.
Our foundation has always been dedicated to improving lives. The first grant provided aid to disabled children. Today, we're on the verge of ending polio.
Et lorsque je vois une mère me sourire après avoir donné le vaccin à son enfant, cela comble ma journée de joie. Parce que j'ai la conviction que cet enfant ne sera jamais handicapé.
Without Rotary, this polio campaign wouldn't be anywhere. And the incredible effort that's been made from the very beginning is really unprecedented.
In the wake of a world war, we made a global impact by funding scholarships for international study. Today, we train the next generation of global peacemakers.
The Rotary Peace Fellowship takes people who have the desire to learn here and gives them that opportunity.
Good intentions alone are not sufficient. This is one of the most important things an international organization like Rotary should do.
We all see this as a passion. We have to do not only for young people.
Rotary is dedicated to personal and professional connections, so we created group studies team. Today, our foundation supports vocational training teams around the globe.
We've turned the dial into this color matches this. For the details to improve.
Rotarians wanted to broaden their impact. The foundation began funding their projects. A decade later, we began supporting larger projects to address health, hunger, and other humanitarian needs. Measurable and sustainable. They allow us to tackle humanity's greatest challenges. Years ago, Arch Klump had a vision. His vision has become our legacy.
That's what Rotary is all about. Vision to see, faith to believe, courage to act.
The Rotary Foundation. Let's continue for the next 100 years.
Well, that was a very concise description of the Rotary Foundation and what we're dealing with, and I think it's something that probably would be a grabber for many of our members. As you look at the screen here in the upper left-hand corner, you see the Rotary and the Rotary wheel, and then there's the 100th anniversary of the foundation icon, and that I'm for these slides. So this will be the centennial year of the foundation. The foundation itself was proposed by then President Arch Klump at the 1917 Rotary National Convention in Vienna.
Tom, we're losing your audio.
Well, there's a lot of background. So for the centennial, every club is encouraged to have do some events celebrating the centennial, and I would suggest that one thing that you definitely ought to do is show that centennial video to your club members, and if you do events in the community, that's a nice presentation. Educate your community about Rotary and its foundation, and clubs do that periodically. Some clubs are considering becoming 100% Paul Harris Fellow Club in Foundation's 100th year. Of course, you can join Dave and Yale and me and Dennis Edwards in Atlanta to celebrate Foundation's birthday during the International Convention, June 14, 10 to 14. And we would like to know what you have in mind and what you would like to do with your club.
Well, I, for one, would like to be able to do a educational presentation on the foundation that would encourage more Paul Harris Society donors.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
Yes.
Okay. The Council on Legislation in 2010 finally got around to establishing the mission and the motto for the Rotary Foundation. And the mission, and you've probably seen this before, the mission of the Rotary Foundation is to enable Rotarians, and I think that's important. It is to enable Rotarians to advance world understanding, goodwill, and peace through the improvement of health, the support of education, and the alleviation of poverty. And they also established the motto of the foundation as Arch Clump's vision of doing good in the world. These two statements, along with Rotary's basic motto of service above self, seem to me to be a pretty good description of a lot of the things that Rotary does. So how do we end up doing this? And I'm not going into terrible detail on some of this material because we just completed our third round of grant management training on Thursday. And over 100 of our members have attended that. We're getting a lot of background noise from us. And the basics of that is district grants are part of the money that we receive from the Rotary Foundation, and I'll go through where it all comes from here in a minute. But basically, that is to allow clubs to do projects in their own hometown, basically in the district, and we allow up to $2,000 per club with a minimum of $250. We allow up to 3 clubs to collaborate this year for the first time, and that's why the grant training has been so important. We're going electronic by using the Club Runner grant module available on the district website. And basically all people that have completed grant management training have been entered into the system as eligible people to work this. As of now, I think Silver City has submitted an application. The application window has already started on June 1 and it'll run through July 15. In years gone by, there were a number of forms that clubs had to complete. They've all been combined into one, which covers all of the bases. One of the things that we absolutely positively must do is get our reports in on time so that we can close the grants in a timely manner so we can get the next ones. In any case, your grant must be completed and reported no later than June 30 of 2018. So those are community grants, and that's part of what we use the district grant money for. We also, this past year, did a $10,000 scholarship from these monies, and that is for study within the district for college seniors and postgraduates. There were 19 applicants for that, and because of that popularity and the fact that this coming year we'll have extra money, we think, for district grants, we'll probably add up to 2 additional $5,000 scholarships. Now, at this point, we don't often talk about this, but I think it's important for clubs to understand why we're asking some of the things that we ask of you. The process, it goes like this. We are asking you to tell us via the applications the projects that you would like to do, and the amount of money that you're going to ask for. The District Foundation Committee, particularly the grant chair, Don Bernardi, and the community grant chair, Andrew Garrison, will assemble all of that, and we will put it into a document for the Rotary Foundation. And as foundation chair, and I have to sign off on it, and Dave will have to sign off on it as district government. We always build in a 20% contingency for grants that we know are going to pop up that just haven't been applied for yet. We also include in that the maximum 3% for administrative costs, and that primarily pays for the Club Runner grant module. And that goes in, and as you can see, the application period runs through July 15. So the earliest possible time that we can submit that is on July 16. Normally the turnaround time is reasonable, but you must understand in July they're really busy. So it may take more time than we might imagine to get the approval back. Once the Rotary Foundation signs off on the projects, then we can tell you that your project is approved and you're approved to go forward. So that's a little bit different than the way it used to be under the old system, but we're going to try to be as expeditious with that as we possibly can. Okay. Then there are global grants, and these are multi-district national humanitarian projects. The grant size varies from $15,000 to $200,000. The minimum project size is $30,000. They must comply or fall into one of the 6 areas of focus. Yale kind of referred to those. This also, global grants also includes vocational training teams, or VTTs, and club-initiated global scholarships. In the past, the district would sponsor a thing called an ambassadorial scholarship, in which there was a district-wide application or competition, and the district would totally fund that. At this point, we're not in a place that we can do that, but a club may choose to submit a global scholarship, but they will also, at the same time, just like all other global grants, be expected to put up a sizable amount of money for that, and the district will match in some manner. In general, we match up to $8,000 of club and member donated funds for global grants. That is subject to basically review, depending on the number of clubs and the amount of money that our clubs and members are putting forward. Application is online through the Rotary International website, although the planning can be done in the Club Runner grant module. That's very helpful in helping get things lined up, and then once you've got that figured out, then you just go right into the Rotary's website. We've done 3 annual grant management training sessions. That is an annual requirement, and basically we'll cover projects, both global and community grants that are for the 16-17 Rotary year. And I'd like to point out, because we haven't talked about this a whole lot, our annual by-district conference will be in El Paso this year, August 19 and 20. And it'll be at the El Paso Club, which is not to be confused with the Rotary Club of El Paso. And our chairs, Vic and Martine, will be getting information out before the end of the month about this. And it'll be a little bit different than you're used to in prior years. We also have programs addressing peace, and there are 6 peace centers worldwide, and these host master's level peace and conflict resolution studies, which are generally 2 years long, although University of Bradford's, as I recall, is about a year and a half. There's a worldwide competition for about 50 positions a year. It turns out last year and this year, her own Yale Jones is one of the evaluators of the various applications. And for each of the previous 3 years, we have submitted a candidate. Unfortunately, none of them were selected. There's also a short course in Chulalongkorn University in Bangkok, and the funding mechanism is a little bit different. The master's level course, if selected, Rotary pays for all of that. For the short course, there are some different funding arrangements where the business or the person might have to come up with some money, but you'd have to take a look at that if you're interested. So if you're interested, give us a holler. The peace program right now is endowed to $150 million. Their goal is $250 million, $250 million. So this is something that Rotary literally led the way on when they started this about 15 years ago. Since then, most universities and schools have some kind of peace program, and the Rotary Foundation is in the process of assessing the effectiveness and the future direction of the program. Okay. One of the things that I would be remiss if I didn't mention, the presidential citation has a section dealing with the support of the Rotary Foundation. And they ask that to complete this section, a club do at least 3 of the following things. The club contributed at least $536, which is $26.50 adjusted for inflation, 100 years worth of inflation. I think probably most clubs could do that. And as I recall, there's no particular, it doesn't have to be any particular program. So it could be the annual fund or polio or a global grant. Each member could contribute at least $26.50 to the foundation. Another way is the club contributes $2,650 to Polio Plus. The club could achieve an annual fund contribution of $100 per capita. A number of our clubs do that now. Each member could contribute $26.50, and the club could achieve a 5-year high in total giving. At PETS, we distributed each club's history. So go back to the PETS binder, or if you can't find that particular display, give me a holler and I can tell you. And one other thing you can do is add at least one benefactor or bequest society member, and we'll talk about what that is here in a minute. Okay, what's the annual fund? The annual fund is sometimes known in this district as E-RAY, E-R-E-Y, or every Rotarian every year. Sometimes clubs refer to it as the raffle tickets, which Carolyn has been administering for us for the past several years. Annual funds are unrestricted funds. That is to say, they can be used for anything. And annual funds are funds that count toward your club's goals of annual giving. And they also provide the money that the district uses to match and fund the various foundation projects. On average, in the new situation that we've been in about the past 10 years since Dennis Edwards started the raffle program, we've been averaging about $250,000 per year. I think the lowest was about 185, and the highest was about 330. So it's time to talk about share. No, and it's not Sonny and Cher, it's just share. This is how we distribute or manage the money, the annual program fund money that we contribute to the Rotary Foundation. Let's say that your club contributes $1,000. That goes to the Rotary Foundation, and for a period of 3 years, it's invested. The interest made on the investment is used to help fund the operations of the Rotary Foundation. At the end of 3 years, half of that money that was contributed, in this case $500, will come back to the district. And part of that money will be designated for our district grants. And those are our community grants primarily and our district scholarship. The other, what's left, will go to fund our global grant matches and some other programs that I'll talk about here in a minute. Starting last July, the 5% of the money that we contributed, and it comes out of the half that the Rotary Foundation retains, can be used to augment the funds available to operate the Rotary Foundation. As you've probably been aware from looking at your bank statements or your interest-bearing bank statements, there isn't a lot of interest there. And in a similar manner, the Rotary Foundation's earnings have not been keeping pace with the cost of operating the foundation. So the board and the trustees authorized up to 5% to be taken out of the World Fund portion to cover operations of the Rotary Foundation. If it's not needed, then it's just used as normal World Fund funds are. Okay, here's the long version of what happens to the annual fund. Again, the district grant portion funds our community grants and district scholarships primarily. And it's, in simple terms, up to a quarter of the money we contributed 3 years ago, which will be about $85,000 for this coming year. The other, or the rest of the money, which is at least $85,000, will fund our grant programs and other things. Okay, there's Polio Plus, and the Gates Foundation is still matching $2 for $1 up to $35 million. And if you work that out worldwide for all the Rotarians, there are 1.23 million Rotarians worldwide. And if you divide that into 35 million, you come up with about $30. So if every Rotarian worldwide contributed about $30, that would max out the foundation match. On an average year, and by October, certainly November, we have made up that 35 million, and so the Gates Foundation gives us the 70. Gates has agreed to continue that for another 5 years. Where are we on polio? As of today, there have been approximately 20 cases. Most of them, I think about 16 of them, have been in Pakistan. There have been 4 in Afghanistan. And recently they did an environmental survey in Pakistan looking for the wild polio virus, and they found none, which is absolutely remarkable. We are now going into the rainy season, which is when we tend to get the majority of our cases, and it looks entirely possible that we might get through the rainy season with no additional cases. It has been a number of years since we got rid of type 2 polio. A year ago, President Ravi announced that it had been a year since we had a case of type 3 in Africa. And as a matter of fact, that was the last case in Africa. So we're hoping here that in about a month, they'll announce that it's been 2 years since we've had a case in Africa. And specifically, that case was in Nigeria, one of the last strongholds. They actually expected Nigeria to be the last holdout, but doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Also, as part of the end game, we are in the process of changing from trivalent, which means that it was a vaccine aimed at all 3 types, and going to bivalent since only type 1 is existing right now, and also to continue immunizing against type 3. And as a reminder, October 27, the district will have a polio event, and we hope your club will participate as you have the past 2 years. Okay, current giving. As Gail mentioned, there's a thing called the Paul Harris Fellowship, and that is for a contribution of $1,000 or a combination of $1,000 in points in multiples of $1,000 up to $10,000. And as you can see there on the right, there are pictures of the various pins. The basic pin doesn't have a stone in it. Paul Harris Society wing is shown there, and that's for pledges of annual gifts of at least $1,000 per year, and Yale give you the data on that. For major donors, these are people who have contributed somewhere between $10,000 and $250,000 of real money. The difference between the Paul Harris Fellowship is it could be a combination of points and money, but major donor is only money. And you can see some of the different pieces of hardware associated with that. If you basically, once you cross the $10,000 threshold, they'll get a hold of you. If you have any questions about where you are, you can go on the RI website and look under your giving, and it will tell you what your major donor status is. Used to be that they'd tell me, but that's giving is a personal thing, and they won't tell me anymore. And if you give at least $250,000 of real money, then you can become an Arch Clump Society member and get the nice gold pin. The district has several Arch Clump Society folks. And by the way, I will tell you, if you're a major donor, you get invited to major donor events all the time, and you get newsletters and so forth from the foundation. Arch Clump Society, you got special registration and seating at the convention. So there are benefits to giving. Well, I hope you'll consider any or all of these programs. So that was current giving of current monies. What about future giving? There's a thing called a benefactor, and these folks pledge to give a future gift of at least $1,000. And typically, this will be a codicil and a will, maybe added a beneficiary of a insurance policy or some such. If you give a future gift of at least $10,000, you become a member of the Bequest Society, and there are a number of levels of that going forward. If you're interested in that, I would suggest that you look at a document called Your Rotary Legacy. It's form number 330EN that gives you a description of these programs and how to sign up for them. Again, if you've got any questions, give me a holler. There's a thing called the endowment fund. You probably heard me say in days gone by that Rotary doesn't change the questions, we just change the answers. Well, the endowment fund used to be known as the permanent fund. In essence, it's the corpus of the Rotary Foundation, and currently it's over $1 billion. There are a lot of options to contribute to that, and if you're interested in making a large gift, give me a holler and I'll get you hooked up with the right people to do that. Okay, I mentioned a Paul Harris 100% Fellowship Club. Right now we have 6 of those in the district. Santa Fe was our first one. Las Cruces, Mesilla Valley was second. Anthony was third. Clovis High Plains was fourth. Santa Fe Central was fifth. And Rio Rancho Sunrise was sixth. What is it? Well, it is a club in which every active member is a Paul Harris Fellow, and they're all Paul Harris Fellows at one time. And the question that follows that one is, okay, everybody's a Paul Harris Fellow. Do we need to keep everybody current as a Paul Harris Fellow? And the answer is no. Once you've achieved this status, you're 100% forever. Although a lot of the clubs that have done this continue to try to maintain the 100% or very nearly so. I know the Rotary Club of Santa Fe just inducted a bunch of new Paul Harris Fellows a month or so ago and got them pretty much back to 100% again. It is, for many clubs, a statement about their support for the Rotary Foundation. And that's one of the reasons why I started out the presentation with, have you done this? Well, a lot of us may not have been to Guatemala or the Horn of Africa, but you know, we're providing the funds and providing the support that enable the people that can go and do go to do those sorts of things. So that's why for many clubs it's a really big deal. So the question after that is, what's in it for us besides feeling good? Well, you get a special banner, and Rotarians seem to like banners, and I will tell you in my visits, the clubs that have those have got them displayed prominently. Your club's name will be recorded on a roster maintained by RI, and it's in the order in which it was achieved. So the sooner you do it, the further up the list you are. As I said, currently we have 6 clubs. How do you do it? Basically, every active member must be a Paul Harris Fellow. And there are some strategies that you might want to think about in order to achieve this honor for your club. I'd be glad to talk to you about them. It's really not all that amazing to do, but it does require a little bit of effort. The foundation points and are generally part of the plan that most clubs take advantage of. And foundation points are, or FRPs, are those points which are generated by a contribution, a monetary contribution to the Rotary Foundation. So every time you give $100 to the Rotary Foundation, you get 100 foundation points. Now, there's good news, bad news. You've got them, but what can you do with them? You can't take them to the gas station, even though you'd like to. You can't take them to the grocery store and cash them in. The only thing you can do with them is give them to somebody else to help them be a Paul Harris Fellow. So in some of the clubs that don't have a whole lot of money, the members were basically, I won't say trading, but distributing their points back and forth with other members to help them become Paul Harrises. And once you've achieved that, the easy way is to make a picture of your club recognition summary showing that you're 100%, and then send it off to the district governor, and the district governor will certify that to the Rotary Foundation, and in about a month you'll get your banner and your recognition. So hope you'll consider that. A lot of clubs think this is a big deal. I happen to think it's a big deal, but that's something for you all to decide. And wrapping up here, there are some key references I think that will stand you in good stead. The Rotary Foundation Reference Guide, document 219EN, I believe Governor Dave included it in your PETS package. This summarizes and gives you references for all those stuff that we've been talking about. Also, there's the presidential theme and citation, which also was included in the PETS package. Governor Dave. There's that Century of Doing Good in the World video. Again, you can download that from the website. I will also point out that there are a number of videos, presentations from the Rotary International Convention that are very good. And the one with the fuzzy-headed guy talking about spiritualism, you may not think is a really good topic for a video, but when you start listening to what the guy has to say, it's really pretty good. And of course, the district foundation team is always there. We're always here to help any way we can. Our job is not to make it as hard as possible, but to enable you, just like the mission statement says, enable you to do the sorts of things that you want to do when and where you want to do them. And with that, are there any questions? And there's my contact information. And Jeff, do you want to
I'm going to unmute because we had some.
Yep. Do you want to unshare me?
I can do that.
Okay. Hey, okay.
All right, let's see. All right, I think I unmuted everyone. Any questions?
Thank you, Tom.
I'd like to,
Dave?
I'd like to particularly thank Tom. This past year, we had a sudden resignation of the person that was going to be taking over foundation activities. And Tom has most graciously stepped in. I know he's had experience before. That's made my job a lot easier because I feel like Tom has not only been a mentor to me, but now I'm sitting at Daddy's knee and learning about the foundation in aspects that I never knew, even though it's been our privilege to contribute to the foundation since we joined Rotary. Thank you, Tom.
You're here.
You're certainly welcome.
Any questions? And as I said, we're going to send out a survey later today or tomorrow. I don't want to speak for Tom, but I'm sure that the foundation committee will be available. The grants folks will be available.
One comment, I joined a little late.
Sorry?
Oh, I joined a little late, so I might have missed this when Yale was talking, but as foundation chair for the Club of Santa Fe, I have found that going to the foundation reports every month has been really helpful in tracking how we're doing and setting goals.
Yes, that's available in Rotary Club Central. And for those of you who have been into Rotary Club Central, there are 3 basic tabs across the top. One of them is, in essence, membership. Second one is service, and the one on the right-hand side is foundation. And for each one of those, once you get into that basic tab, down the side is a list of things that you can do, and one of them is reports. So there are district-wide reports, club reports that Deborah was referring to. And in my estimation, clubs, foundation chairs ought to be looking at that once or twice a month to see what's going on and how you're progressing. And certainly clubs that are interested in the presidential citation status, achieving that, are going to want to get in there and see that you're on track and see the contributions that are being made the way that you think that you're supposed to do. Very good. Very good comment.
What I've done also is included a report at the board meetings on our status so that the whole board is engaged also with foundation giving.
Good.
Excellent point.
Yes.
Are there any other questions? We're a little bit over, but I want to make sure we follow through if there are any other questions.
Jeff, is it possible for you and Tom and I to stay on after everyone else leaves? I have a couple of questions.
Sure. I'm fine with that.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, folks. we really appreciate this. We appreciate your participation and getting through this technology. If there's no other questions, have a great rest of your weekend, and Dave and Tom will stay on for a few minutes.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
And Jeff, I'll give you an updated version thing without a video, and I'll just stick a slide in there and say insert video here.
Sure.